Okay, hello everybody. This is a little change of pace. This is Frank from the New York market, specifically Long Island. I'm coming to you guys. If you can't hear from my accent, yes, I'm from New York. Uh, I'm right now hanging out, doing a test live stream. We're gonna start bringing more in the moment live streams and that whole sort of good stuff. So basically, things that show you what go on while we're out here, uh, the scenes as they unfold, responding to those scenes. So we're just testing out some of the logistics on how that's going to work for each market and each individual stringer at our disposal. So as of right now, just hanging out. I apologize for the shaking. That's just my car itself. I don't have a really permanent setup, otherwise I would have something more secure. But as of right now, this is the only thing that can really not fly around when I drive. So, as I said before, this is the New York market. Specifically, we're on Long Island. We're just going to hang out. I'm going to talk about a few things. We're going to put some radios on, see if we can get some trouble. Not any real trouble. Let me clarify by that. We're going to turn this on. Okay. So yeah, if you guys are joining and watching, throw a comment out there, say hey, keep me company. I'm only going to stream for a little bit just because this is a little test and I want to go over some things, and both myself and Andrew want to basically have this covered. So the first things being that we are up once again for the second year in a row. We want to become the best of Long Island for the Twitter account, and now this year for I believe it's website-based service. I believe that's the category. So how that's going to work, nominations, if you follow us on social media, if you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, we've already put out a little bit of information on how you can come and essentially nominate us to be placed in to the competition for the second year in a row. And last year we won for the best Twitter account from Long Island, which is absolutely great. I love that. Unfortunately, the award ceremony and everything kind of got a bit blown out by the whole COVID-19 thing. But nevertheless, I should say, it's a great accomplishment, and we want to do it for the second year in a row, and we want to keep doing it. So that can't be done without you guys and without our amazing supporters. And personally, I'd just like to thank all of you, especially for my content from the New York market, and on behalf of the other stringers that we have here in the New York market. I do want to thank you all for watching, liking, subscribing, and basically creating this whole tight-knit community around what we do. And it does mean a lot to all of us. And on top of selling the news, we like to have a community where we can see what everybody thinks, and we can sort of go through and essentially, what's the word I'm looking for? Interact, I guess, is the best way to do it. So I do very much want to be appreciative of the audience, and you guys joining now, watching live right now, thank you. Because Fully Involved Media Group, we would not have the success we've had without the loyal viewers. So that's enough. I'm done kissing ass for right now. So yeah, we're just gonna try and see if we can drive around. I might head over. They opened up a new testing site, or 2 new testing sites in Suffolk County. So I might bounce over there. If we get nothing in the next couple minutes, I'll go drive down there, get some footage for that. And yeah, so if there are any questions, anything, throw them out there, comments, really anything, honestly, you want to say, throw it in the chat. We definitely, or I'll try, since I'm really behind the camera here, I'm going to try and respond to them in a decent amount of time. If I'm driving, it might obviously take a little bit longer because I don't want to end up as a story by flipping my car trying to read a comment, but I will get back to you within a timely manner. So actually, we're gonna go take a ride. I'm gonna go hop on the 135, and this is also me using this as a test to see how stable this live stream video is gonna be when I drive around with how I have it rigged up. But yeah, tell me if you guys like this so far. Oh god, I always hate coming down that curb. I'm gonna jump on the 135. And it's great because they just repaved it. It's been a big thing that they've been doing here. If you're from Long Island, if you are in the area of the 135, you know that before everything, this thing, it was very questionable, the 135. So it's great now that we have it repaved. So the crews have been taking advantage of people not being out on the roads as much from like I think 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. So they've been taking advantage of that, and just a mixture of being essential workers and putting out some hours over there. So we Long Islanders do appreciate that. As far as the essential workers and everything goes, and the COVID-19 story here on Long Island, we basically are right next to the epicenter for New York, or I should say the United States. It's kind of difficult. The cases have been absolutely, wow, okay dude. I almost just got sideswiped. That would not have been cool. As far as the epicenter goes, like I was mentioning before, it's difficult because now they say that Long Island's a week behind the city when it comes to these things, and that just goes to show that, you know, yeah, our numbers are going right up just like they did in the city. So that means we're not really out of it yet. The cases are allegedly stabilizing here, which is great. And that's not to say that they won't shoot back up when people don't listen and go back out, or if we lift the quarantine and New York on pause order. Once we lift that, that's probably going to be I don't think people are going to really take it seriously. I know there's a lot of people now that haven't been taking it seriously up here, specifically around Nassau County, and it's like, how could you not take it seriously? Yeah, politics aside and everything, I'm not a very political person, so that's the weird part about me, is that I'm in a very media savvy, news savvy business, but I can't stand politics. You know, I'm very neutral with a lot of my views, but as far as it goes, I think everyone could be doing a little bit better instead of pointing blame at other people, other parties, other, you know, individuals. And if we just all kind of work together, which has been definitely doing, and a lot of people have been doing great about that, but you get those people who just, they don't understand. They're the parents that pick their kids up, throw them in the, you know, the playpen for, wow, somebody had tire issues here. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. Those are really intense skid marks, dang. But yeah, with the parents, I've been to some of these parks because I've tried to, you know, cover stories and stuff like that, and get some footage of parks and playgrounds taped off. Yeah, I've seen firsthand parents pick their kids up and literally put them over the closed gate and the taped off equipment and say, go play. And they go talk with their friends. And the sad part is, it's not your kid that's going to get sick. Not to say it's not going to happen, because it has before. And everyone's different with this COVID-19. That's the scary part, is that everybody's different. And nobody has the same effects. It's all a bit different. I'm going to go duck into the place right here. Okay. Like, even now, it's a nice day out here in Nassau County, and you got so many people just out and hanging around. It's just kind of like, no, stay inside. Don't go to the parks, don't go to the beach. Also, let's take a look at this right here. This is the Starbucks. Their line, I don't know if you can see that, let me zoom in. Their line, I'm gonna drive by it. They have about, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 12 cars on queue in the shoulder. So let me do this, watch this, ready? All on the shoulder. That's not people parking, that's people queuing up for Starbucks. The drive-thru. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely crazy. Let me just pull over and read this message very quickly. Ooh. We had a really big windstorm that came up here, and it knocked a lot of trees and stuff down, so it's kind of odd. Alright, let's see here. Are you all, let me read. Are you at all concerned going out in public covering the news? Oh, disappeared. One more second. I gotta get used to this with everything that's happening. I'd say I'm exercising the proper caution, as should everybody. Anybody in the news industry, anybody in the first responder industry. I refer to them as industries because, you know, it's just a common term. But anybody who's an essential worker should exercise caution. Me personally, I have gloves. You know, you never know when you're going to come into contact with somebody. Whenever I go in a store or something like that, I'll go put the gloves on. I have a face mask, so when I'm on scenes, I'll put a mask on. Especially with these very close quarter scenes like fires, I will put a face mask on. It's not so that I don't get sick, it's so that I don't get the first responder sick if I have the symptoms. Because a lot of people are asymptomatic, which is very alarming. But as far as it goes, I've always been doing it. You know, I've been sitting around, going out. I've always exercised caution with this, and as should everybody. Go to Manorville. That's a bit of a hike. I might, you know what? I technically could. I don't know if I would want to put a whole bunch of miles on my car, but if something's going on over there, or if I end up in that area, I'll probably bounce around. And the best part about when I'm out is I kind of have no boundaries. When I go to a call, let's just say from here, if I go to Dix Hills, say there's an overturned on the northern state in Dix Hills. If I go out to that, then after I clear that up and I'm in the area, I'm like, oh, okay, Comac, St. James, you know, something a little bit closer, further down the road. Say, oh, residential fire, fully involved. I'll go right there. I'll just keep going, picking up the stories as I go out. And there are some times that I have ended up out towards like the Hamptons or basically in Queens with some of the calls that I've been to. It's just whatever is happening in the area is what I'll pick up. And that's just kind of how I operate. A lot of companies will have people in set areas. But as far as I go, since I cover a very broad area of Long Island with a few other people, we'll kind of shift around a little bit. And it works out for the most part. All the major stories we cover, some of the small little things that you don't hear about, it's kind of difficult to cover them, mostly because I work still on top of this. This is my part-time gig. I'm now that I have more free time, I'm gonna be out here a lot more. But before, I was getting just bombarded with non-stop hours and overtime, and I was just kind of stuck, you know, putting this thing on hold. And it's been like that since pretty much February, and that's right around the time that this started. But at first it wasn't even because of COVID-19, it was because I was just working, and the hours were actually killing me. But now it's kind of slowed down a little bit. Everyone's got their little niche, and I get the hours that are good for me. So on my days off that I had requested, I actually get those now. And on my days off, I will be out here bringing news, providing footage and video for stations and for all of our subscribers. Because a lot of people, they look at the news and they wonder, okay, they only selected maybe like 45 seconds, 30 seconds of footage. They put a little small segment going. But if you want to see more into that story and you want to know more details, the best part about us is we have a lot more leniency than an actual broadcasted agency does. Because we're not on television. We don't have to adhere with the rules and regulations of broadcasting on the television platform. All we really need to worry about is with YouTube and the graphic stuff, blurring out if there's a body or if there's like a serious injury, little things like that. That's what we have to worry about, because YouTube will flag that, and they have for a lot of other channels out there and a lot of other stringers that post content. They have done that before when it's been like serious. Wow, she just like, I might have to get a playback of that. She just really tried to like walk into my car. Weird. Okay. The quarantine's going to people's heads. That was very, very close. I don't know if that even picked up. It might have just been a bit too far out of the range, but still, yikes. That was a bit terrifying. What do we got here? No, that's NYPD Highway. The reason I keep NYPD Highway up is for the sole reason of serious car accidents and pursuits. Because with a pursuit, somebody who takes off, they're most likely going to want to go onto a highway. And the nearest highway within Queens, Brooklyn, is typically the Belt, 495, BQE, all those very, very, very interconnected highways with Long Island's highways. So I keep it up just to listen, and if I do hear a pursuit, the likelihood is they're going to come east. If they're coming from New York City, they're going to come east because they think that NYPD can't chase them, that they don't have jurisdiction once they leave the county. So rather than going across through Manhattan to Jersey, they figure, okay, it's a lot easier just to come out on Long Island. Especially if you're fleeing in Queens. You just hop on the 495 and you're basically golden. in their minds, they don't know that NYPD will basically chase you until the wheels fall off of their cars. And Nassau and Suffolk County, they'll come in. It's happened so many times before. If you look on the right, I don't know if you can really see that. Those two things, the branch and the actual mechanical box for the traffic signals, those were blown over in the wind. We had a very, very, very tough windstorm that came and caused a lot of damage. And me personally, I have the photos on my Instagram, and we also posted them on the company Instagram as well. So you'll see it under the Plainview, New York tag. That's where most of the footage came from. Of course, the South Shore got hit the hardest with the winds. I'm gonna go this way. Yeah, this could be easier. Oh, speaking of Queens, I think I got a fire in Queens. I'm not headed to that. That's probably gonna take me, with the amount of people that are out right now, that's gonna take me well over 20-30 minutes to get there. But at nighttime, especially because there's nothing open anymore, it's great because you can just hop on one of these highways and head anywhere you want, and there may only be 2 other cars that you see. If it's a Friday, Saturday night, you know, people still go out and drive around because they're bored, so you might see a little bit more, but there's really nobody. That's the best part. That's what I love the most, is that it's like the stringer's dream because you don't have to deal with traffic. But in turn, motor vehicle accidents have gone down like ridiculously because nobody's out. And you still get the, you know, the serious ones where people are going like 100 on the northern state. They lose control and flip their car because there's nobody around. You'll get one of those every now and then. But as far as the live streams go and our vision for this channel, oh god, train tracks are probably my biggest enemy. The fact that I went over those and this mount still stuck is great. That means I did good. But as far as the vision for this goes, the channel, the live streams, all that good stuff, we are going to be live streaming on a more regular basis. Now that I have a legitimate setup in my car to live stream, it's going to be a lot easier, and it's going to work out, and it's going to be pretty decently nice. So when it comes to responding to calls and all that, I'm just watching this truck. Some weird people on the road. When it comes to responding to these stories, then we'll be live, and you'll get this front view right here out the dash of my car, and you'll be able to see all of the action as it unfolds. I have something on the way for my camera. It's a mount for the live stream, or not the live stream, for my camera on the phone. What am I saying? I think it got to me. The quarantine. Jeez. But yeah, the live streams are going to be a bit more common, especially with me, with the Long Island market. We are going to essentially kind of bring it to you on a regular basis, just so you can see what goes behind it and what we see on the scene. As far as the camera I use, I personally use a Canon camcorder XF100. I got it. What am I saying? I got it used off of B&H, and it's single-handedly the best investment I have made. Prior, I was using a DSLR. I was using like a camera that, you know, could do photos and video, and so I don't like this parking lot. Always commercial vehicles blocking the view. Surprisingly, a lot of accidents do happen on this stretch of road on 106 going into Hicksville. But the camera I do have, like I said, the Canon XF100, the camcorder, best investment I've made. When I pull over, I'll give you all the specs of it and what I specifically use. But it's a very, I don't want to say beginner camcorder, but it's not one of the big professional ones that the stringers use in LA, and it's not some of the ones that the news agencies will use. But it does get the job done. It's 1080 video. That was a weird maneuver. 1080 video. It's probably one of the easiest interfaces to learn for camcorders that I've personally used. Now that we're stopping at a light, I can sort of grab the camera and look. I've got, I forget what brand this is. I think it's a Genray or a Genray, whichever that company is. It's an on-camera light, so it's insanely bright. I only use it on like the lowest setting, because if I use it for anything else, I'll blind all the people working on the scene. So I only use it on like the lowest setting. You can change the temperature on it from warm to cool, which is really good. It's one of the things I like. I think it was about $120 for that. And then on top of it, I have a Rode shotgun mic. It's an NTG 4 Plus. Once again, one of the better mics that I've invested in my sort of career with media and everything. But that's my setup for now. And then my tripod in the back, it's like some off-brand one, but it's ridiculously nice. I was going to invest in one of the expensive ones, and then I realized, you know what, maybe let me save a bit of cash. Let me not go broke investing in a tripod for this. And I got a cheaper one for like $200 compared to like $600. So that's my setup. I'm in the process of, like I said, getting some new stuff in off of Amazon. A phone mount for the camera itself, and then something on the top of the camera that'll allow me to space things out a little bit more. But yeah, as far as all that goes, that's my equipment in a nutshell. And then every now and then, if I just have it with me, I'll bring my old DSLR just for photos. I don't take photos as much. Typically, the photos that you'll see are higher definition screen captures from the footage itself. So we'll put those up. Those will get published. We've had a few of my photos from the scenes that I've covered. They have been posted on the news media's websites. They've been published in the newspapers around here. And as far as footage goes, I think totally I've had about, within the, I'm not gonna say the past couple months, because it's been a bit of a weird time since I wasn't really out, but the most recent things that I've sold were probably serious accident. It's listed on my account personally as an unusual incident. It was I'll take the story from the top. because this was a hell of a scene to go to and try and piece the puzzle together. You arrive on the scene. Oh, what the hell? I'm picking up Broadway Mall security. I didn't even know that I had that in here. That's funny. I'm right by Broadway Mall. For any of those who know Hicksville, I'm on, what do you call it? 107. And the mall is a little ways up. It's going to be up to the left over here. That's odd. I think the reason I put that in there is because there's a lot of fights that break out, like large fights, especially over the summer. Roosevelt Field is even worse. Like I said, those of you who know Long Island, you know how big Roosevelt Field is. As far as the malls go now, there's nothing going on, so that's why I just ignore it. Alright, let's pull into here. Oof, God. Absolutely insane. So yeah, right across the road from me, that huge sign, that's Broadway Mall. It's so busy. If you see that line right there, I might actually go and grab a shot of that. That line, just like the one of that Starbucks I showed you before, that's all for Starbucks. They're queuing up on the road to go into Starbucks. People need their coffee. It's one of the most insane things I've seen so far, is that some of these lines for Starbucks go, I'm talking like a half-mile away. 25 plus cars just hanging out, waiting to get their coffee. If Starbucks closed down, I have no idea what these people would do. Me personally, I make my coffee at home. I got the little Keurig thing. I'll make that at my house. I don't even have to get near these lines, because if I did, I would have been going insane. But yeah, as far as everything goes, this is just kind of like an introduction live stream, like I said in the beginning. Those of you still watching, thank you for still watching and listening to me ramble on over the nonsense and listening to the almost calls that we went to. But as far as the live streams go, the only time that we will, or me personally, that I'll really go live is if there's something that I need to talk about with the company itself or the market itself or any news regarding me and my stringing. So I'll go live with something like that, announcements, all that good stuff. And then we'll listen around and kind of hang out, let the radios play out, see what goes on. As far as other markets go, yes, we are. We are currently in. We add so many that I lose track, but the ones that I know for sure that we are in right now, North Carolina and New Jersey. So we have those, and we might have a few other ones. I believe also Pennsylvania, we have something. So I'm not too savvy with it. Essentially, I, don't know the details in depth behind all of the markets we're in, but for a fact, we're obviously in New York because that's where I'm I'm live from right now, and we got North Carolina and Jersey. So those are the top three, and then we might have one or two people in other markets, but the strongest ones we have would be New York and North Carolina, which are great because you look at New York and North Carolina, specifically Long Island and North Carolina itself. I'm just going to say specifically North Carolina. There is a dire need for stringers. And there's always a dire need for stringers, no matter what market you're in. Unless you have a market that's so small that one news agency can literally be at everything because the town or the market itself is literally like a 5-mile radius. That's about it. But as far as the larger states and areas, Long Island, within our New York market, the city, obviously, Westchester, all the other counties, Nassau, Suffolk. Eventually, our goal, our main idea and pushing platform is to have people basically in 90% of the counties within New York and North Carolina. And anybody watching this, anybody who doesn't think that they have the means to, I guess, to string and to become essentially someone like me or anything like that, we make it very easy. We are, we look for people, obviously we'll prefer people with experience, but that's not to say that we won't bring people in who have been, coming around. They want to just do what they, not what they want when they want, but we're very relaxed when it comes to scheduling.
201's disabled is going to be right at the end of the Garrison Bridge, westbound on the right-hand shoulder. If you could advise it over there, please.
Oh. Another disabled. It's the perks of listening to NYPD Highway, is that all the disabled vehicles. But as far as hiring goes, we are always looking for people. If you're a bit intimidated, you don't really know the industry at all, reach out to me, reach out to any of our stringers who work, myself, reach out to our account, comment, DM us, email us. Me personally, if you want to reach out, I will put in the comment section, I'll put my my Instagram so that you guys can all check it out. Reach out to me. By all means, if you don't want to reach out to the actual company Instagram, if you want somebody a bit lower on the totem pole, I'll answer any questions you have. Any questions, I'll give you, my share of knowledge. I'll basically assess your area, your market, and see if there is a benefit. Because at the end of the day, we realistically aren't going to open up a market for the company in somewhere that is that 5-mile radius town if they have already 2 news companies that have people that go out and they're on payroll. There's going to be no need for us to go there. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't contact us. If you think that, you'd be surprised. A lot of the places, and contrary to public knowledge, a lot of these smaller markets are the hardest money-making markets out there. And of course, your big ones like New York, New York City, Long Island, North Carolina, our big ones, they're based around cities and more urban areas, but that doesn't mean a rural area won't get money. And that doesn't mean if, you're in the middle of Kansas somewhere, or if you're in the middle of Iowa, with the plains, the fields, if you're in a place like that, contact us. It's all about making that first step, because we need people. And if you even have a little spark that wants to know what this whole industry is about, please contact us, because it's like that saying, there's no such thing as a stupid question. There are stupid answers, and people do give those a lot, and me personally, I do not give stupid answers. As far as stupid questions go, don't ever be scared to ask the question. We're not gonna be like, God, why don't you know that? You're an outsider, but yeah, you should know that. No, we're very not intimidating. We're very easy to talk to, and we always work stuff out with our stringers. And the best part about working for a Fully Involved Media Group, I've been doing this for 2 years now. Actually, in May, it's going to be 2 years since my first major story in the news business in general, it's been the best 2 years of my life. It's redefined the way I look at everyday life. It redefines me as a person. Because I used to just listen. I used to just go around and fire buff and take pictures of all the fire trucks and stuff like that. And that's where most of our stringers do come from. And if you are a fire buff and you actively, are at these scenes, a lot of the time you're there before me because you're with the fire department, or you're there on your own because you live right in the area. That's the type of thing we're looking for. If you are kind of iffy about it, like I said, reach out to me. Fire buffs are our main demographic, those who want to pursue a future career in video journalism, photojournalism, news media, broadcasting, any sort of media. This is a great first step for a lot of people. And it's understandable that people don't have the means to really do it on a grand scale. But I look back to when I first started 2 years ago. I had a little dinky Ford Taurus that barely ran. I had one radio. I had this radio, which I still do have. I had that radio, and I had a DSLR. Like a cheap, like, $300 one with a decent lens. That's all I had. And I started selling. I just started selling right away. And it's essentially what you put into it, you get out of it. There's a lot of people who will get discouraged when they don't sell something. And what I say to them is just keep trying. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. I think my entire first couple months, I didn't sell anything because I was still learning. And to this day, 2 years later, I'm still learning. Everybody learns. Everybody starts at different walks of life. Everybody starts with different bases of knowledge. But the thing that we can do, if you're really interested in this and you want to get into it, we can help you transform and give you the platform for you to succeed and for you to make the money that you see all these professionals doing out here. And you can make the money that, you see the people from, well, you don't even see the money from Los Angeles, but it's on a larger scale. If that's something you want to do, we're the right company for you. If you're a bit intimidated to get into it, we're the right company for you. And I'm going to say it again. I'm going to annoy everyone to death by saying this, but we're always hiring. So anything, there you go, right there. Reach out to us. If you want to join, shoot us an email. If you want to know anything about us, questions about our markets, questions about how you can license and purchase footage from us, if there's something that you like, a shot that you like and you want to use it in like a documentary, if you want to use it in any sort of thing, contact us. We'll discuss it. info@fullyinvolvedmediagroup.com, I believe. I couldn't read it, it was cut off for me, but it was there in the chat. Anything, questions, comments, concerns, if you want to tell us we're doing a good job, email us. If you want to tell us we're doing an okay job, email us. If you want to tell us how we can improve, email us. And as far as the website itself goes, the website, I love the way the website looks. It's one of the nicer websites. It's very compact, very laid out in a professional way. It looks really, really nice. And the stories come up right on there. And there's nothing better than when I log onto that website and I look and I'm like, oh, top story on the webpage. I did that. And there's just something so satisfying about that. And it's even more satisfying when you go home and you turn on the 11 o'clock news or the, 10 o'clock news, whenever. If you turn on the news and you see your footage right there and you're like, I took that. I helped tell a story on the news. That's the grand appeal for all this is, it's usually not the money. For me personally, a lot of people will say, falsely, they'll say, oh, it's not the money, and then they'll go turn and be like, all right, $100, $200, $300, how much can I make from this? To me, it's more about the storytelling. I want the residents of Long Island, Queens, Brooklyn, New York City, I want them to know the news that breaks right here. I want my neighbors to be informed. I want my friends to be informed. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to a lot of the things I cover, mostly car accidents, very average amount of crimes, shootings, but mostly car accidents. There's a lot of car accidents because there's a lot of people. If you're not from the Long Island area, you just look at us on the Google satellite view. And you can tell that everything's on top of each other. The population, off the charts. So by definition, and just by the way things work, more people equal more car accidents. More traffic equals more people not paying attention, rear-ending each other. And especially now, empty roads, people speed. And if I can put my footage out there, get it sent across the news, if I can put something up on social media showing a mangled piece of metal that you can't even tell is a car anymore because someone was texting and driving, that's a warning tale. That's why I do it. And a lot of people say it's not for the money. The money's nice. You know, it's good because it pays, but it puts gas in my tank. But my whole thing is the storytelling, the reporting, the details, and just getting the word out there that this stuff is going on. Because without stringers, a lot of these stories that you see on the news would not be there. News agencies don't want to air something if they don't have footage of it. They'll air maybe like a little 15 to 30 second spot about it, giving details, but you're not going to see the graphics behind it. You're not going to see how it's impacting. And an image, they say it speaks 1,000 words. A video speaks 1,000,000 words. That's why I do it. And that's where I'm going to leave this off, because I'm going over a 45-minute mark and I'm just kind of rambling at this point. But that's why I do it, is because videos speak 1,000,000 words compared to photos. Yes, this is Hicksville right here. I'm right in front of Boulder Creek. Missed that place. That place was, it was okay when it wasn't on its last legs. But Broadway Mall is right in front of me. This is 107, and 106 is over to my left. I'm in the old Sears parking lot, just kind of bumming around, about to go move my spot. But yeah, this is the greatest part, is just being out here. And like I said, I'm not going to ramble on too much. I'm just going to highlight some key facts from what I rambled on in my 48 minutes of live streaming. First things first, Facebook and Instagram, you'll see details on how to nominate us for the Best of Long Island. We are going to be in the categories of Best Twitter Account from Long Island and Best Website-Based Service. And that's basically the main thing. Nominate us. The instructions and the links and everything you need to do that are on our social media. So if you really support us, if you love what we're doing, nominate us. And then once the voting time comes, just vote. Vote, vote, vote like crazy. And then the second thing is, with the live streams, we're going to be doing these a lot more frequently, and going to the scenes, on the scenes of these accidents, fires, crimes. You'll basically see it in live time as things unfold. So if there's a standoff, if someone's barricaded in a home in Uniondale or in Hicksville, just because I'm right here, you'll see that unfold in the moment. You'll see police and the SWAT kick that door in. You'll see the flames. You'll see all this action happening in the moment, and then we'll release the videos right after. But as mentioned in the comment, anytime if I get anything, I'm gonna be out here until at least probably like 8 o'clock tonight. If I get any scene going live again, I'm going to be live either on the scene, responding to the scene, and we'll keep you informed. You know, that's the nature of our business. We like keeping our subscribers and followers informed about everything, and we like just telling the news on how it is and the details, the bold, flat details. Nothing more, nothing less. So I appreciate it. Thank you for the keep up the good work comments and all the support. That's a big thing I hit in the very beginning of this, is that without our subscribers, without the followers, and without the backing that we've had with all of our viewers for these videos and these live streams, we would not be where we are. So thank you all for watching. It means a lot to us. We are constantly working to bring you the best of the best and more interactive content, and that's what I hope these live streams will do. So without further ado, gonna end things off right here. Hope everyone has a great day, and we will essentially go back live whenever something happens. Hopefully something will, because I'm going a bit stir crazy. So stay safe, everybody. Make sure, wash your hands at least 20-30 seconds. Wear a mask, wear gloves, all that stuff. It's a national pandemic. We'll get through it together. We got to be together. We got to be united, and just be careful with everyday life. And we'll come back live whenever something happens.